Hello and welcome everyone to League of Europe Division 4 for round number 4. We're going to be coming to you from the Sochi Autodrome in Russia. All 18 corners are ready for the drivers and maybe, just maybe, to be extended here tonight for an amount of laps that I'm definitely not forgetting. It's going to be me, QVR Packer, taking you through main comms tonight, and alongside me for the fourth time this season, Excel Gary. How's it going, Gary?
Happy to be here once again this week for Division 4 around Russia. Of course, this isn't the greatest track for racing in real life anyway, but I'm sure the guys here in Division 4 are going to make it very entertaining like they have so far through the first 3 rounds, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have had a few cases of almost losing my voice, and I'm not exactly excited about possibly losing that before the race tonight, and I might be going out because social life and USA. But anyways, coming into round number 4, looking at the standings right now, it is Sam T who's leading the championship after his unlucky DNF in Canada. He's not going to be racing tonight because we do have a full grid though. So hats off to the orgs for great attendance throughout the season so far. So Sam T is leading on 43 points. Goldie has shown a lot of consistency so far, 2/3 and a 4th. He's 1 point behind Sam. Forza Brendan in third on 33 points. Ryan B in Brandon, who is tipped by Killer's Instincts for a possible race win tonight, is on 4th and 5th. Frosty Calvin and Heated in 6th and 7th. They're tied on 24 points. ISRL Jordan, TGG Storm, and Alt Maverick will round out the top 10. Alt Maverick scoring his first points and his first podium in League of Europe last time out. So yeah, the few drivers who have looked pretty on form, and there's actually a few drivers who are in the championship fight that I didn't exactly expect to be in that.
Yeah, I totally agree. We got a lot of, well, I say a lot, we got people like Forza Brendan and Ryan B, who were in D5 last season, or in Forza Brendan's case, he was provisionally in D5 during pre-season. So those guys have really surprised me, and hopefully they can keep this form going on into qualifying here and the race. Russia, we've got quite overcast conditions here at the moment, so hopefully for these guys' sake it doesn't rain. They've had a lot of rain in qualifying so far this season, so hopefully for these guys it doesn't rain.
Yeah, most definitely. We did have wet qualifying sessions in Austria and in Great Britain. Did dry out towards the end of the Austria qualifying session. I believe it was Goldie who ended up on pole position, the only driver to set a lap time on the soft tires. Canada, it was a dry qualifying. We got to see the first actual representation of dry qualifying pace, and it was Frosty Calvin who took pole position last time out in Montreal by 0.04 of a second. So really, really close grids here for Division 4. Right now on board with Major Falcon coming through turn number 10 and onto the back straight, the second of 2 DRS zones at the Sochi Autodrome. So yeah, Major Falcon is just getting ready to start the first flying lap for round number 4.
Yeah, and it's quite an easy track to invalidate here. A lot of corners where it can be quite tricky. So I expect drivers to take a little bit of caution through the first run or two, get an eye for the track, and then come their last run, really go gun-ho and all out for it.
Yeah, most definitely. It's very difficult to get a lap in, either invalidating or just touching one of those orange sausage curbs you can see on the inside of the circuit. But Major Falcon is going to be going up across the line to start the first flying lap out of turn number 18 across that start-finish line, going a little over towards the right side of the circuit for this flat-out first corner. Going to try and keep it to the right side and then trying to get the best run, the shortest run possible down towards turn 2, braking at the 100-meter board into the apex of turn 2. Very easy to invalidate, especially there on the exit, but not keeping it all the way to the left. That's where you want that's where the racing line is. That's where you want to be to keep as much momentum and keep that speed up through turn 3. Now braking into turn 4, down to 4th gear and up to 5th on the apex for the Haas driver, trying to keep that car stable. You can touch that apex sausage curve and spin like one Sebastian Vettel did in real life. Through 5, dipping, going through 6 right here, and then going into 7 for 4th gear for the Haas driver. Not carrying as much speed as you would have wanted to, maybe in the at the end of the session on lower field than he is right now. Through 9. Now braking into 10, getting very, very close to the wall on the left side and exiting onto the back straight, opening up that DRS and through turn 11 here. It's not much of a corner, but is a little bit of a kink you can see there on the screen. Still on board with the Haas driver, flinging it over to the left side through 12 and now braking into 13 just before that 100-meter board into that very difficult right hand and then through here as well. Turn 14, very, very difficult in traction. Not short shifting to 5th gear though for the Haas driver. Purple middle sector, he was the first driver out on track, so that could account for that. Through 16, don't want to touch that inside curb. It's very, very difficult, or very easy to get on that curb and mess up your entire lap through 17 and through 18. We do have stewards updates there not to go off the track and gain lap time. It's 30.8 for the Haas driver, so it looked pretty decent, but I'm sure he can get a lot more time out of that one.
Yeah, I expect Paul here to be a low 30, mid to low 30. I think maybe I'm going to say 30.4 will be Paul here in this division. So not the worst banker in the world. As I think a lot of people have invalidated. We've seen a couple of more drivers cross the line not actually set a lap time, as their laps just have not counted due to not being valid. But I think he is the next one to cross the line. He's also invalid, and Ryan B's got to be the next one to cross the line, and he does a 31.8. He's forced him fifth now, as Mick Heron goes a little bit quicker than him, or sorry, he goes half a second quicker than him. So yeah, a lot of people invalidating at the moment, which just goes to show how difficult it really is to get a lap in here at Russia.
Yeah, Ghost Recon in his first race in Division 4. We saw him in both preseason races, but he was not able to compete in the first 3 rounds of the championship. He goes into P6 there on a 31.9. The slowest of the drivers who have set a valid lap time. Camel going into the final corner and out across the line. 31.1 puts him into P4 so far for the Ferrari driver, so not too bad for him, but I'm sure you'd like to find a little bit more time. Callie goes into P6 on a 31.7. There's a McLaren who just crossed the line there, possibly starting one or invalid. I think that's a Red Bull of United Bosnia who's invalid as well, and then the Merc behind him is going to be TGG Storm, who goes up into P5 just in front of his Mercedes teammate. So right now, the two Mercedes, as we saw in Canada, a lot of teams locked out rows on the grid. Right now, Mercedes on that third row looks pretty decent for the two Merc boys.
Yeah, I think this season so far we've seen it as Brandon does a 30.6, puts him on pole position for the time being, last week's race winner. Thankfully he did get the win after getting disconnected last week and the game doing a bit of a couple of glitches, so yeah, really good lap by him to start off with. Yeah, just like what you were saying, it has been a bit like a Noah's Ark this season. It's usually the Williams and the two AlphaTauris who are always near the front this season so far after the first three rounds, so be interested to see if we can have a couple of more guys like the Mercedes or the Ferraris that I think have been quite unlucky this season, see if they can get up and make a nuisance of themselves. But I think a lot of people are going to be coming into the pits this time around. I think there's a few drivers on laps. United Bosnia, for example, coming up to the second Delta split. He does a 4.8 Delta split. It's not the worst time in the world. I think he's still valid, so he should complete this lap. Be interested to see how he goes through the very difficult chicane. He goes completely wide. That's going to ruin his run for turn 16. And now 2 corners to go. Very easy to invalidate if you go a little bit wide. Doesn't want to hit those Sasha curb on the inside. As you can see, through 17 and 18, voice them nicely and going to come across line. It's a 31.7, and that puts him P9. And you can see you're on board with him. He definitely has more time, especially in that last sector.
Yeah, not the greatest lap there for the Red Bull driver. 31.7 does put him into P9, into that top 10, but I'm sure he would like to be finding a little bit more time on that one. That is going to be Frosty Calvin across the line to start a lap in his AlphaTauri. Both AlphaTauris looking very, very strong at the beginning of this season. Currently, they are 3rd and 6th in the championship. Had to take a quick look for them. But something to point out that Brandon, who did set pole position for the time being, did 2 laps on those soft tires. I'm not exactly sure if that's the greatest idea for him. Tire wear is not much of a factor here, but those tires start to die off towards the end of that first stint. Forza Brendan goes into P9, finding 6/10 on the lap that he just completed. I think that's a Renault. That is going to be the Renault of Brandon coming to the pits.
Is it rain? I think it's raining.
Is it raining?
Oh, no, okay. No, it was raining on my screen, then it stopped raining. I'm not even joking. I was in the pits and it was raining. It looked like it was raining. My eyes deceived me there. Apologies, but yeah, it's not raining.
Well, yeah, Marty, I think the second Renault just coming across the line to start one. I thought it was going to be United Bosnia. No, it's going to be his Red Bull teammate Spectron Don, who I saw while you were on board with United Bosnia. He crossed the line earlier on to go into P2 onto that front row. Goldie is starting a lap just there. I think that's United Bosnia actually now coming into the pit lane. There's a few drivers on in last, Frosty Calvin as well. So let's get on board. Never mind, Jordan's on an out lap as well. So Ramp on an out lap. Literally everyone's on an out lap or an in lap or just in the pits. So I think it's going to be Goldie. Never mind, it's not Goldie. Who's the other Williams? That's Heated. also on an outlap. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me find someone that I can actually go on board with.
Ram's about to start a lap. Ram just crossed the line and start a lap.
Okay, we can go on board with him a little bit later on. Jordan is breaking into turn 2 as well right now, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. And the next driver is going to be the Renault. That is going to be Marty. 33.1, I think that was just the first sector split because he's going through turn 11 at the moment for the Renault driver. Going through turn 12, 104.8. I'm not exactly sure how that matches up to other drivers or 2 times that I have put down in practice sessions. I haven't really been looking for that, but now Marty breaking into turn number 15. You don't want to touch that curb on the inside. It'll give you a massive oversteer, and it'll really unsettle the car. That third sector really depends on that uphill chicane. Now Marty coming through the final 2 corners. What can he do through turn 18 down the 3rd gear? Up to 31.4. He's going to be going into P8. There's a Mercedes starting a lap there. I think that's now going to be Goldie starting a lap. He was 4,000s down on his previous lap time, the 30.935 that he has down at the moment. What can he do in that final sector across the line? He doesn't. He loses even more time. He ends up not improving. He was down by 600s across the line. I think it's going to be it's the Ferrari. Or no, it's the Alfa Romeo of ISRL Jordan. Next one to cross the line. He goes up to P5, so in front of the Ferrari of Camel, who's going to, and I think his Ferrari team is going to be the next driver to cross the line. The ramp, 104.4, a little bit slower than a few drivers, but it's a 31.3 at the start-finish line for ramp. That was Williams crossing the line. That was heated going up into P5. So yeah, pretty decent lap. And once again, we see the 2 Williams really, really close out on track.
Ooh, Ryan B puts himself up to second, just 200s behind Brandon. But yeah, like you were saying, the 2 Williams up there once again in 5th and 6th. Noah's Ark. They're inseparable in qualifying and the race. So that gives them a bit of headaches, I think, for strategy and stuff like that. But that's a great lap by Ryan to pop himself up into P2 as Brandon sets up or starts his lap into turn 1 or turn 2, sorry, and 3. Doesn't cut it too much. He doesn't want to invalidate. He sticks very close to turn 3. That's the best line you want to take. Like you said, just keep the momentum going. Now into turn 4, very easy to go wide and invalidate. Does it case it really nicely. It's looking like a solid lap so far by Brandon. In turn 5, he's marginally down. He's half a tenth down on his time at the moment. He goes a bit wide, but he keeps it valid just about. So he's not going to complain too much. Now into 7, that's going to be invalid. Yeah, and that's invalid. Bit of a scruffy lap by Brandon.
Yeah, he does have 6 minutes, or just around 7 minutes left in the session, so he can go into the pit line and do one more lap. Major Falcon, I think, is going to be the next driver to cross the line. He is derating, though, and he goes on the provisional pole position by 0.2 of a second for the Haas driver. He found 0.4 on that lap, so a really good improvement for him. I think Heated is on a lap. He's 0.2 up. Heated is on a lap. He's going to be 0.2 up. The 2 AlphaTauris are just in the, or not in the way, but they were between Heated and the line. Heated crosses the line and goes back up into P5 after improvements from other drivers. Next driver across the line, that is going to be Brandon. Is he going to be, he did invalidate, he's going to be starting another one. He was 0.6 down crossing the line, so backed off just a little bit to go for another one, not to be derating across the line for the next run. Kieran finds 0.3 of a second and will go up into P8, so another a lot of good improvements for a lot of these drivers. I think Excel Cali just crossed the line. There's a Haas who spun around in the final sector. No, he's just getting out of the way of Forza Brendan and P17 for the time being, who is on an outlap. So yeah, Ghost Recon getting out of the way very, very well there. He was a 10th up. Across the middle, so middle sector split. So maybe he made a mistake down into 13, or maybe through 14, or just anywhere in that difficult final sector. TG Storm, no, he's going to be crossing, going into the pit lane. So the next driver should be United Bosnia, who's actually invalidated.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with Brandon at the moment. He's gone again. He's going to have just about enough ERS, but we've seen him do this in the first run. He did 2 laps on his softs. So he's pretty much banking that he improves on this lap if he does complete it. And he's 700s down at the moment, so he might come into the pits depending on how he's feeling into the last sector. But yeah, he doesn't want to start on tires that he's done 2 laps on, so he's going to be hoping that he can improve on this lap time. If he does improve, that he can improve it on his last run, because like you said, tire wear is not terrible, but there's just a grip, or the level of pace just drops off massively. It comes through the last 2 corners, avoids the sausage curbs nicely, and he's going to be at 30.5. He improves by 800s put himself up into second, but he's got that issue of starting on 2-lap off fresher tires, so he's got to make sure he gets a good lap in at the end.
Yeah, most
Extremely
definitely.
close at the moment between, especially third and fifth, just a few hundredths separating them. So yeah, as Marty retires.
Ooh, he retired on track.
He retired at turn 12, is it?
Yeah, I'm not exactly.
I think he must have done a Carlos Sainz from a few years ago.
Yeah, I must have.
Hitting the wall. That's an interesting place to crash out on, because he's very at the end. Like, he's not like it's come out of turn 10. He's literally at the end of the straight, so that's a very odd place to spin it or crash out.
Yeah, the next driver across the line is going to be Frosty Calvin. He has not set a lap yet. Last week's pole sitter, so let's see what he can do. He actually might be on an in-lap. It's a 106.1, so a lot slower than many of the drivers that we saw earlier on in the session. So yeah, I think he's going to be coming in. Bag of Bones, who went into P9 just a few moments ago, he's coming through the final sector now. He's on an in-lap. He is has the ERS down. Brandon is also on an in-lap, and he has run out of fuel, it looks like. There he's in low fuel mode, so he will be trying to limp his way back to the pits. But now I think Goldie in the Williams is going to be the next driver across the line. Let's see what he can do. He already has one pole position on the season so far. Going into Russia, I wonder what his expectations were. What can he do, though, to match those expectations? I'm not exactly sure how much he was up across the middle sector split. I wasn't quite looking. But now Goldie breaking into turn 15. Very, very difficult. Very lucky to get away with almost touching that sausage curb on the inside of 15 there. But good enough to get away with it and not lose time because of it. Through the penultimate corner, looked pretty decent, carried a decent amount of speed into the final corner. It's not going to be pole position, but it's going to be second place for Goldie, a 30.5 for him, so a good lap there. The Haas driver, I think that's Ghost Recon, is going to be pulling into the pit lane. There's another driver. That's going to be the Alfa Romeo of Jordan. I think Jordan Camel and Ramp are on the final sector, just about to start laps. United Bosnia as well. Going to be. I think most drivers are going to be on out laps. So I think Goldie might be going again.
That's an interesting play by him, because I know from previous or personal experience that he's 2 tenths down. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work doing back-to-back laps around here. Tire temps just get a little bit too high, and yeah, I don't think it's going to work for him. But that's a very good lap by Goldie. Very close between himself and Brandon in second and third, and he's managed to put himself in P2. And of course, Sam T is not racing today, his fellow championship competitor. And same for Forza Brendan, who's down in 18th at the moment. So Goldie's in a good position as we head into everyone's final runs here in Russia. This is where you're going to see a lot of invalidations. People are going to be on the absolute limit. As Ghost Recon retired in the pit lane. He must have just not had enough time to go back out.
Yeah, lap at times. Our pole position right now is a 130.4, so with a minute and 20 seconds left, no one's going to get out of the pit lane and onto another lap. Right now, watching ISRL Jordan getting a little bit of a tow there from Forza Brendan. Going down towards turn 13 in the Alfa Romeo, braking a little bit. A little slide there on the apex of 13, trying not to spin it because he was slightly up through the first sector, through 15, taking the same line that Goldie did and not losing time. He's taking the perfect line there, trying not to touch those sausage curbs that are absolutely deadly. They can throw your car into the air. I've seen people fly off those sausage curbs, so you don't really want to be touching that. But across the line, he improves by 2 tenths, so he finds a little bit of time. The next driver is going to be Camel. I think Ramp must have invalidated. Yeah, Ramp invalidated in behind the Ferrari. The second driver, Camel, finds 4.5 tenths and puts himself into P5, so that's a good lap for him. Ramp, I think he's going to be the next driver. He has 30 seconds across the line. I think he's going to be going for another one, considering the ERS is on 100%. The racing points, or both of them, are going to be on out laps. I think Matt Kieran is going to be the next driver to cross the line. He was up by a 10.5 crossing the middle sector split, but he's had more corners to try and find time or even lose time out of the final corner. It's not going to be full position. A little bit wide there. He finds only 500s and improves up into P10. The next driver is going to be the Renault of Brandon, currently P3 out of the final corner. He's going to have just enough time to cross the line. I think that's the racing point. That's Excel Cali, who's barely made it across the line. It says for me improved by 4 tenths, but I'm not exactly sure how true that is. But he's going to be doing another lap. Alfa Romeo It has to be Ryan B. Out of the penultimate corner into the final one. He is derating, so he might have gone for 2 laps. He improves by 2.5 tenths, but not good enough to go on pole position. He set purple final sector, it says for me, but it wasn't good enough. He needed 2 more hundredths if he wanted to be first on the grid. I'm not exactly sure if it's the best spot to be, considering the long straight down towards through turn 1 and down towards turn 2. But now Major Falcon through the final sector. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve on his current best lap across the line? He improves by 2 hundredths. It might be just enough. It was a small improvement, but it could be enough to solidify that pole position for the time being. The Mercedes. I think that's going to be TTG Storm. The next one across the line. He goes pole. Wow. 30.3. For the Mercedes drive, the next driver, I think it's going to be Alt Maverick out of the final corner. He finds 400s, but only into P12 for third place, or for the driver who found himself in third place last time out in Canada. Frosty Calvin, 30.6, goes into P8 for him. I think that's going to be Ramp. The next one across the line, he goes only into P15. So not the greatest lap from him. Vagabonds finds 2 tenths and will put himself into P10. The next driver, Harry Naward, to cross the line. He goes P6, doesn't improve. It was a back-off lap for him. The next one, I think Brandon's on a lap, but he is invalidated. He's going to be coming into the pit lane. And I think, Callie's going to be the last one to cross the line. He finds half a second, goes in front of his Racing Point teammate, but he's going to be the last driver to start on those soft tires, but he pushes his teammate outside of the top 10, so now the Racing Points, I think, will be almost forced to split strategies here, but TTG Storm takes an absolutely amazing pole position here.
Yeah, that's a great lap. It's extremely tight, the margins here at the moment, but yeah, great lap by Storm. Hopefully he doesn't pick up as many pens in the race as he did in Canada last week. These are quite similar tracks in that sense. It's quite easy to pick up pens, so it'll be interesting to see how his race pace goes. But that's a fantastic lap by him to just nick pole right at the end. He came out of nowhere. He wasn't on my radar anyway for pole, and he just came out of nowhere and performed a great lap to give himself pole position.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be TTG Storm on pole position by 0.08 of a second to Major Falcon, who was on provisional pole position for most of the session, but didn't find enough time in that final run to solidify that P1. He will be starting on the front row, but he wasn't quite challenged. It's a 0.137 to Ryan B from Storm on the front row. Goldie, Brandon, Harry Naward, Camel, Frosty Calvin, Heated, and Excel Cali will be the top 10. The top 10 separated by half a second. So really, really close field here in Division 4. Vagabond, Spectron, Don, Jordan, Kieran, Maverick, Ramp, Ghost Recon, United Bosnia, Marty, and Forza Brendan will be the rest of the grid. A little bit of a disappointing performance, to be honest, from the Alpha Towers. 8th and 20th. It's not what we expected from them here in round number 4.
Yeah, these guys have been really the team to beat this season. They will be leading the Constructors, of course, if Brendan didn't have his disconnection in Canada. So it's very surprising that they're only 8th and 20th. So, and this is a great opportunity, like I said, for Goldie. He's got Sam T not racing and Brendan in 20th. So if he's going to gain important championship points and take the championship lead, this is his chance to do it. So starting from 4th, he's got a great opportunity to do it here.
Yeah,
it's
Goldie.
A little bit overcast. Sorry, just like could rain.
Yeah, it is definitely a possibility here. It's not the greatest conditions to drive in the wet here, but going over to Division 1. It was NSX Montana who took pole position with a 28.9. That's a great lap from him. DDD Daniel, so it's going to be a Racing Point front row. Cookie Games, yes, go on Cookie and P3. M Short and Connor will be 4th and 5th. Bull and Jiao Jiao, Alpha Tricks, Campbell, and Kazizzle will be the rest of the top 10. And Rocco starting P11 on poor man's pole. Going over to Division 3, once I can rewind back to their quality results, it's going to be Caesar on pole position, which is a little bit of a shock. Old School on the front row. Jaron, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry if you're watching. I'm sure he won't be. Bree, Rudy, Rally JT, Peter, Carmentalist, Miami, and Tin Can will be the top 10. And Luke will be on poor man's pole position. Let's get the Division 4 stream up once again. Maverick saying he's P15, and he has lots of work to do. Spag, once again in the chat, rooting for Goldie.
He
as
is
always
the cheerleader of the season so far. Spag every week. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting now to see what tyres people go on to, because if it's not really, tyre wear is not an issue here, so it's not like the worst thing in the world to go on to a set of softs on the outside top 10, but a lot of people have elected to go on to a set of mediums. We've only got 4 drivers outside top 10 going on to medium. They are Jordan, Ram, Marty, and Forza Brennan. I think that's the right strategy to go with, because the mediums at the start, the mediums aren't a great tire, I don't think, compared to the softs. They're much slower, so there's going to be a big pace advantage at the start, so it'll be interesting to see if they can make best use of that. But what do you think the pit window is, and strategy-wise here for this race?
Yeah, yeah, Spack once again being the cheerleader in chat, getting a little bit further than PG-13. But yeah, in my very lackluster experiments of race practice, once you pit onto those mediums, you can do around the same lap times that you could do on the softs earlier in the race. So the mediums aren't too bad towards the mid parts of the race, and once you make that first pit stop. But yeah, the mediums at the beginning are not going to be the greatest tires to be starting on. So United Bosnia furthest down on the mediums. He has 2 positions to lose, as well as Marty and Forza Brennan, both on soft compound tires. So it's going to be interesting to see what the medium runners can do, and if they can stick with the train. DRS very, very, very powerful here for those 2 straights. They're very, very long straights as well, to use that drag reduction system. So I wonder what the front runners can do, especially what type of pace is Storm going to have out in the lead of this race.
Yeah, got a lot of questions to ask, and hopefully we get a few answers the longer we go into the race. But one thing for sure is turn 2 is going to be very chaotic. It's quite a hard corner to go side by side with. It pinches on the apex, and there's the sausage curb on the right and the left, which just does not make it fun at all. So I'm expecting a few instances, hopefully not, but I'm expecting a couple of wings to go flying into turn 2.
Yeah, there's a tiny sausage curb on the exit of turn 2 on the left side. I have touched it a few times and spun off into the barrier, Carlos Sainz-esque. So hopefully those drivers do not do that. I'm sure if you have that experience. Not many drivers have. I'm not exactly sure if you have, Gary, but
I have, don't worry.
yeah, Storm is slotting into pole position on the grid right now. Forza Brendan is going to be slotting himself into P number 20. Full grid here for Division 4 round number 4 for these drivers. Once we wait for the 5 red lights to come on and we can get into the proper broadcast camera. And there we go. The 5 red lights are coming on now. We have 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. That was a really quick quick hold for the drivers for those 5 red lights. Major Falcon trying to challenge Storm down in towards turn 2. Let's see what the Haas driver can do. He's going to use all that overtake that he could possibly muster down in towards turn 2, all that he can. But there's a late 10 from Goldie up the inside of turn 2. Storm is going to have to cut the corner there, and he's going to still be challenging Major Falcon out in the lead of this race. He's going to be on the inside. That's going to be the better line for those 2 drivers, but I think Major Falcon is going to get that move down into turn number 4. The Haas driver is into the lead. Brandon's round. He's in the wall. He's lost a part of his front wing, as well as another Haas driver. I think that's Ghost Recon. Who's had a spin as well on the medium tires, so not the greatest start for him. But his Haas teammate has had the best start possible. He's going to be out in the lead of this one. Goldie and Storm will be following him through in P2 and P3. Ryan B and Camel 4th and 5th. Harry Noir, Frosty, Calvin, Jordan, Spectron, Dunn, and Heated are going to be the rest of the top 10. Vagabond's had a pretty decent start on the mediums. He's still in P11, passing his teammate, who's dropped down 3 positions there towards P13, but going on board with a few of the drivers. The gaps are still very close, but what is that final sector going to do, especially with the dirty air? I think Marty and Vagabonds are going to be going side by side into turn 13 here. The Renault goes very late on the brakes. He's lost his front wing on the back of Heated. That's way too late on the brakes for him. Marty's going to have to definitely come into the pits. Both Renaults damage early on.
Yeah, it was a chaotic start for the whole grid nearly, especially into turn 2. Not as chaotic as I thought it was going to be, but Major Falcon got the move done on Storm. Had to use a lot of overtake though to get it back. He's on 40% or so. He's on 60%, sorry. But yeah, he's got the least amount of ERS now at the moment compared to the top 3 guys, so that might hamper him a little bit, but he got track position, so that's all he cares about at the moment, as he's using a lot. Again, down the main straight once again, so he's got to be careful. He's got to look after that ERS management. He's got to be a little bit better on it, as Frosty Calvin's going to make a move on Jordan to go side by side through turn 2, around turn 3. Jordan's going to have the inside line. It's going to be the quicker and just more momentum, less distance to travel, so he's going to be able to hold on to it just about. But yeah, Frosty Calvin's had a decent start to this race. He's starting in P9, and once the timing glitch sorts itself out, it'll tell me exactly where he is. He's got up into, okay, he's up to P9, or P10, sorry, or P9. So he's getting 1 position, I think, or no positions, never mind. But yeah, very chaotic start for everyone, especially at the front.
Yeah, most definitely. Last week's, I believe it was last week's race winner, Brandon, down in P20. He's going onto the soft tires, so I'm not sure if that was his strategy decision to pit for those. Allmaverick picks up a 3-second time penalty, and we have a VSC.
Marty has no front wing.
Oh, gosh.
He must have lost it out of turn 2 coming out of the pits, and those hards, they are going to be terrible tire. Yeah, the hards of this track are not going to be fun, but Goldie's really dropped off top 2 guy or top 3 after that start. He was already out with DRS range of TGV Storm, so he's got to be careful, as that was a very quick VSC. But I think because I think Storm got caught napping there, and he's out. Goldie's after getting a huge amount through that VSC restart. So yeah, forget everything I said. Now Storm's lost DRS to Major Falcon, so yeah, it's a bit of a yo-yo and seesaw at the moment, up and down for the guys at the front, trying to find that little bit of consistency at the moment that they're struggling. As Frosty Calvin's going to go for it on Jordan once again into turn 2. This time I think it's going to be a lot easier, and yeah, he gets the move done, and that's him up into P7. Got a little bit tail happy actually. Never mind, and Jordan comes straight back at him around the outside of turn 3 into turn 4, and that's his position once again.
Yeah, heated just in behind, trying to go up the inside of Spectron Don. The Red Bull driver is on the mediums, heated on the soft tires, trying to take advantage of that early on in the race. We are only on lap 3. DRS was just enabled for these Division 4 drivers, but he did not able to get that move done into turn 4. That the angle at turn 4 really closes down at the apex of the corner, so it's going to be difficult to make overtakes there unless you're fully alongside. Forza Brennan and Ramp are going side by side into turn, once I get my trap map up, turn 8 there. Forza Brennan around the outside of Ramp. A pretty decent move there for the Alpha Tauri driver, so he's going to be up into P number 14. Heated looking for another move on Spectron Don, but he's not going to be close enough. Frosty Calvin through the heart of that middle sector was not close enough to possibly make a move on ISRL Jordan into turn number 13. But right now, Ryan B is actually really looking really strong after Storm lost DRS. Yeah, Storm. Yeah, Storm did pick up a time penalty. He was mentioning in the chat earlier on that he does have a hand injury, and that's why he picked up so many penalties at Canada. So after taking that pole position here tonight, he's already struggling with track limits here in Russia, and he seems to be struggling for pace ever so slightly. 1.3 seconds behind race leader Major Falcon, Goldie, and Ryan B, as well as Camel Harry Noir are all closing in on him. Let's look a little bit further. Calvin and Jordan once again going side by side through turn 2. They're gonna. I think Frosty Calvin actually is gonna have the move done this time. He could have had it done last lap, but had a little bit of a slide on the rear end. So Frosty Calvin will now finally be up into P7. Now have to try and close down the rest of the top 6, and that train of Storm is starting to close in ever so slightly on Major Falcon. That gap's gone down from 1.3 down to 1.1. So Storm starting to make a comeback.
Yeah, it's just they're just seeing each other, they're just testing each other out, as it's very important for Storm to get into that DRS, because he's got Goldie and he's got 3 or 4 cars behind Goldie that are going to be all over him if he can't get into DRS. I think he does have, no he doesn't, he just missed it out at the detection point, but yeah, he's got to use a lot of overtake. They're both using a lot of overtake, as Goldie's got substantially much more ERS at the moment. The ERS management has been a lot better than the 2 guys in front, so he's probably just waiting his time, buying his time a little bit, waiting for them to use all their ERS up and then maybe pounce, because yeah, because he's bringing a train along with him. He's got 3 cars with him, and I think it'll be a couple of laps, and Forza Calvin's going to be in this train as well, so we're going to have a 4, 5, 6 way battle for the win maybe.
Yeah, most definitely, but Goldie has been dropped out of DRS range, so he seems to be struggling a little bit as well. 6 cents off his personal best. It was a 36.1 for the Williams driver. He's not going to have the DRS advantage to keep the drivers in behind. Forza Brennan and Allmaverick, I think, are switching positions down the field, but now the Williams in the Alfa Romeo, possibly going side by side into turn 2. Ryan B going to send it up the inside, but he's going to back out of that one. I think that was smart from the Alfa Romeo, not going to disrupt Goldie's line, going all the way to the right side there for turn 3. He's not going to be able to get that move done just yet for him. Ramp and Forza Brennan, I think, are fighting for positions as well. Allmaverick just behind them. In behind. I don't think he's going to be close enough for a move. He's on the medium tires. He's third in the medium tire train for the time being. Ghost Recon and Kieran going almost going side by side into turn 4, but once again, very difficult to overtake here at Russia. The DRS is very powerful, but it's difficult to make a move. Turn 2, a very tight corner. Turn 4, another tight corner, especially down into turn 13. That's almost impossible to go side by side through there. So you can get side by side. It's about who has the pace to get in front once you are side by side.
Yeah, like you're saying, you got to make the move on the straight, really. As we got Camel now gaining on Ryan, he's going to look for the outside line. Ryan's just going to give him a little squeeze, and Camel just thinks better of it and sticks behind him for the time being. Yeah, like you're saying, it's not the easiest place to overtake in the world, as all the corners, or like opportunistic corners, I can't speak English, they're very difficult to go side by side with, so it's not easy. As Arena Walk's going to be the first one to blink, he's on the pit. That's a very early pit stop, but I think the mediums will make it quite comfortably to the end, and who knows, I'm not too sure if the undercut is that powerful here, but we'll find out, I guess, as he's the first one to blink, and he could even jump the whole train, as we got I think that's Marty spinning again, or someone else has gone up. No, I think it's just Marty. So we had yellow flags, I think Marty had a little spin, but yeah, the top three have really started to spread out here now, and that's interesting to see. As Goldie's now, he had loads of ERS, and now he's got only 30%, and he's quite even with the other two, so pace seems to be very inconsistent for the top three. 1 minute they're in DRS, and the next they're second and a half, so whoever can find that consistency could be on for a good result here.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to save ERS in clean air here at Rush. Ghost Recon going a little bit off the track there at turn 4. We did see a few drivers pull into the pit lane. Harry Noirg and Excel Cali both going onto the medium tires, I think, for towards the end, or they're going to be going to the end of this one. All 27 laps. They decided to pit on going on to lap 6. So a little bit early there, as you mentioned, but a few drivers in behind, possibly battling, and that could help out Harry Noirg and Excel Cali, who are both in clean air. No moves quite yet for the top 10, but we do have Ramp and Vagabonds fighting for P11.
Ryan's lost out of turn 14. He just about managed to keep out of the barriers, but he's lost position to Camel, so that tells me his tyres are starting to go off. And Goldie's going to pit, and he's going to try and get an undercut on the top 2, but yeah, Ryan's very lucky to get away with only losing the position to Camel and getting no damage from that.
Yeah, Ramp just had an amazing move around the outside of Vagabonds at turn 15. Very, very difficult to do. It's a very tight corner there. But as you mentioned, Goldie is going to be into the pit lane, almost holding up Marty there, who is a lap down now. In T20, he's going to be going onto the hard tires to the end of the race. But yeah, Ryan B is going to be close to the back of Camel. A few drivers are within DRS range. Jordan a little bit further back off that DRS range, but now United Bosnia and All Maverick going side by side. All Maverick trying to make that move. He's going to be going around the outside of turn 3 of the Red Bull driver. He has the pace to possibly keep it around the outside, but I think he might just get squeezed out. He's going to send it. No, he's going to back out. And United Bosnia is going to be taking that racing line and be staying in P12. Ghost Recon still on the back of Kieran for P14 on track right now. Marty picking up a time penalty down in P20. The battle for third place is still very, very close. After Ryan B made that mistake, Camel has been starting to pull away as All Maverick picks up a time penalty on the alternate strategy, so that's really going to hinder him for the rest of this race.
Yeah, that's he's banking on his race and not getting pens and hoping to do something different with your strategy, but getting pens is going to cost him. But yeah, Camel's pace has been electric so far since getting past Ryan B, and Frosty Calvin's gaining onto the back of these guys. One thing I'm interested in is when these guys do pit, where the likes of Harina Wog and Goldie come in, because these guys are still staying out. They're going long into the race as Ryan B pits, but the top 3 on track at the moment still stay out another lap. So Harina Wog's going to get a 3-lap undercut on these guys. If they don't pit this lap, he could get a 4-lap undercut. So he could be in a good position here, Harry. It depends what guys' pace on the softs are looking like, but they're clearly happy to stay out a bit longer on these softs. So it'll be interesting to see how OP the undercut is, or is it OP, or will the overcut work? We'll find out in a couple of laps.
Yeah, All Maverick off the medium tires. He's going to be pitting. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, he has wing damage, and he's going to be going on. Ryan B has gone into hards. Ooh, that's an interesting call there for the Alfa Romeo driver. That might have been a mistake because I have been selected the media or the soft to medium strategy, but Harry Noirg, I think he's going to be past Ryan B. So yeah, Harry Noirg could have a possible chance at undercutting the leaders of this race. Ryan B obviously on the hard tires as someone's out. Spectrum Don is out of the race. The Red Bull driver out of turn number just before turn 6. So yeah, now the race leaders who stayed out gambling for the safety. Well, I'm not sure if they were gambling for a safety car, but now they have one. So they're going to be Pitting on the mediums, P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's Falcon, Storm, Camel, Jordan, Brendan, and Ramp. We're all going to have a free pit stop here. But what are the medium runners going to go on to?
They're in a bad place at the moment because they can't go onto the hards. The hards are too slow. I don't think Ryan B meant to go onto those hards. There's no way. If I'm the medium runners, I think you've got to have to stay out and hope for another safety car, because I don't think softs might make it. They might. They'd be very slow if they did. As I expect the top 6 to pit. It'd be interesting to see what someone like Bag of Bones. They're in a very difficult place right now because it's a lose-lose. If you pit, you go onto hards, which is going to be slow. If you stay out, you're probably going to lose as well. As Bag of Bones decides to stay out, United Bosnia pits, and United Bosnia gets his drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That's ruined his race. That has absolutely ruined his race. But a lot of medium runners are pitted. I think Bag of Bones is the only one that hasn't pitted yet and has decided to stay out, and they've gone onto the hard tyres.
Ooh.
It's not a great tyre, but I think it's the best they can do in this situation for them. There's not much else they can do. As United Bosnia, actually, he went onto a set of softs. He would have been someone. He would have been interesting to look out for, but now he's got a drive-through. His race is ruined, so that's a shame. That's a big shame.
I have seen people before take the softs 20 laps. There were 2 safety car periods in that, and they were leading a train, and I'm not exactly sure how they stayed in front of that train, but I have seen someone do it. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, well, I think they'll just be very, very slow at the end. But just a quick note: Forza Brandon now up to P7 or net P6 because Bag of Bones, of course, has to pit. He started last, and that safety car has absolutely saved him because he just about got ahead of Harry, and Harry's in the fight for a podium here. So Forza Brandon, from last on the grid, has managed to get himself into a position where he can fight for the podium. So this has been a great recovery drive from him for the first 9 laps at least. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on the safety car restart. But yeah, great drive by him so far.
Also, Bag of Bones, who decided to stay out on the medium tires. It's a difficult choice, as you mentioned, because you can either stay out and do the normal strategy, medium to soft, or you can pit for hards or pit for softs. But the hards are going to be slow and the softs are going to be slow at the end. But yeah, so a difficult choice. A lot of drivers made that choice. United Bosnia going on the softs, Kieran, Ghost Recon going onto the hards. A few drivers, unless I'm completely mistaken, I think a few drivers might have pitted onto the mediums if they had another set.
I'm not sure actually. I think most people had pitted just before the safety car onto a set of mediums, and then I think the top 6 who were on softs who hadn't pitted yet, they all went onto mediums, so they're going to be fine for this race. So people like Major Falcon, Storm, Camel, Jordan, and I think there was someone at Ramf. I think Ramf lost a lot of time. I thought he was a lot higher up than that, but I don't know if he got held in the pits or something. Yeah, I think everyone's going to be fine on tyre wear. United Buzz is the only interested one, but unfortunately he's got a safety car, or a drive-through, sorry, so he's really out of contention, unfortunately. It would have been great to see him, how he would have been able to go on those softs, but not to be.
Yeah, Ryan B, who pit under those hards, he's going to be down at P17. I think he actually, I don't want to say it. Yeah, he did make another pit stop, so he's going to be on the mediums now. He's going to have to take that drop in position. But he will be on the tires that will be a lot better than those hard compounds. But Bag of Bones, as we switch over to the position gains, Bag of Bones up 10 positions, but he has not made a pit stop yet. Major Falcon is equal right now. TD Storm down 2 places. Camel up 3. Jordan up 8. So he's in a really good position as well. He's made up a lot of positions since the start. Goldie is down 2 places. Forza Brendan up 13, as you mentioned, from the back of the grid. Harry Noir and Frosty Calvin are down 2 places and 1 place, respectively. Excel Cali has stayed in his grid slot of P10. United Bosnia and Ramp up 7 and 4 places. Heated down 4. Matt Kieran has stayed in his grid slot. He's going to be on the hard tires there, so he's going to be struggling for pace, especially on the safety car restart. Ghost Recon up 2 places, and the rest of the grid, all Maverick down 1. But Ryan B and Brandon are the 2 biggest losers, down 14 and 13 places. So they've really been unlucky in this one. And the Marty has stayed in his grid slot of P19. So a few drivers having really good races, and a few drivers not having the greatest of races, or just not having the greatest of luck so far on this one.
Yeah, I think Ryan B decided to pit again under the safety car to go onto a set of mediums, because of course he pitted onto a set of hards which I don't think he meant to do. Clearly, he didn't because he's pitted for a set of mediums now. He had good pace, so I think he could get through the field and still get a good position here, or a good finish position. He still has no pens as well, so that could keep him in touch of a good result. So, but yeah, safety car's coming in. Bag of Bones, the only one who hasn't pitted, is going to lead us. He's just praying for another safety car, to be honest. That's all he can do right now. He needs another safety car and another 5 or 6 laps. That's all he can hope for right now.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the strategy is for the medium soft. I guess the softs can go around 8, 9 laps before they drop off. As United Bosnia picks up a 5-second time penalty on those soft tires, so he has a drive-through and a 5-second penalty now that he will have to serve in the next 3 laps after the safety car restart. Vagabond is away. He's full throttle. He's using the overtake with Major Falcon on those a lot fresher tires. He has 9 laps advantage on Vagabonds in front of him, the Racing Point. But look at Storm on the inside. He almost sent it 3 wide. He's going to back out of that one, but Major Falcon is still going to be on the outside of the Racing Point of Vagabonds, just hoping that the Racing Point will go deep. He did go deep, but Storm has to switch back as well as Camel's off into the wall. I think that's all the only driver to have made a mistake through turn 2. Major Falcon has lost out of position, but Storm possibly making a move on Vagabonds. Major Falcon deciding not to try and regress on Storm, but he will be down a place. That's Marty who's left out. Goldie and oh my gosh. Forza Brendan make contact, so Goldie's off into the wall. Forza Brendan will be up in position. ISRL Jordan as Major Falcon and Vagabonds. Storm has gotten past Vagabonds, and so will Major Falcon. He's going to follow through, but Jordan is really close as well via yellow flag in the first 2 sectors, but it's not going to be a VSC or a safety car. Jordan maybe possibly trying to make a move through turn 10, but no, he's not going to be going for the outside line. I think United Bosnia in behind is trying to make a move on the McLaren, as we do have a yellow flag in sector 2 that might have been. That's Brandon in P18 dropping positions right now. Virtual safety car. But
I mean, if I'm Bag of Bones, I'm pitting, but that was a chaotic restart. That was mental. I think Forza Brendan and Goldie, I don't know what really happened. They went into turn 4 side by side, and they sort of glued their tires sort of glued together. And then Goldie, of course, went spinning in front of Forza Brendan and just T-boned them into the wall. That's very unfortunate for
Camel has picked up a drive-through, so that's 2 drive-throughs already in this one. United Bosnia deciding not to pull into the pit lane to serve his. Well, Camel will come into the pit lane to serve his, as well as Goldie, who's picked up front wing damage off the back of the Ferrari. Camel sped into the pit lane as well, so he's going to have that 5-second penalty.
Yeah, he already had damage from the instance before the Brendan, so that won't make a huge difference to his race, as he was already going to pit for a front wing, I believe. But yeah, this is throwing a cat among the pigeons right now, as Jordan's found himself in P3 somehow. He's come out of nowhere, and he's net P2 here, because Storm's got a pen, so he's only hoping Major Falcon can pick up a pen, because I know Jordan doesn't pick up many pens at all, so he's put himself in a great position here to maybe nick a race win here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun last 15 laps, I think, as Forza Brendan picks up another time penalty. That's going to hamper his race an awful lot, as yeah, he's stuck behind Bag of Bones. He's yet to pit, and you can just see how much time he's losing behind him compared to the other 3 guys in front of him. So yeah, he's got to make that move ASAP to give himself any chance of a good result in this race.
Yeah, most definitely United Bosnia right now on the back of Harry Nawar. I don't think Harry Nawar should fight this too hard, but he is just at that 10% mark on his ERS. But United Bosnia is going to be flying past the McLaren down into turn 13 there in the Red Bull on those soft compound tires. He does have a drive-through to serve, but he's not choosing to serve it quite. Yeah, Forza Brendan Vagabonds getting very, very close out on track. Vagabonds still on those medium tires. Has not pulled into the pit lane yet in this race. He's taking those mediums from the beginning of the race, so let's see what he can do. He's starting to drop off the back of the top 3, though, as the top 3 are really, really spread out, as DRS will be enabled. Is Jordan going to get DRS? I don't think Jordan's going to have DRS, because Major Falcon was barely within Storm's DRS range, but Jordan not having the greatest of exits off the final corner, so he's not going to be getting that DRS advantage. I think United Bosnia is finally pulled in the pit lane to serve his drive-through, but Forza Brendan going to be sending it to the inside of Vagabonds, and Vagabonds is just almost going to let the Alpha Tower driver have that one into turn 2, but now he's going to have to look out for his Racing Point teammate for Excel Cali going to the inside. He's going to be up into P5. I think Vagabonds might have just let him have that one. Racing Point telling the driver to switch positions. Vagabonds on a completely different strategy than what Cali is on right now. Frosty Calvin getting very, very close to the back of Vagabonds as well. Vagabonds is really, really struggling on those tires for the time being. It's lap 13, and he's taking those tires from the beginning of the race, so he's going to be struggling on those. Frosty Calvin is getting ever so slightly held up in behind, but Forza Brendan's Excel Cali are really starting to break away once they got past Bones in currently 6th place.
Yeah, Bones' tires have completely died off. He's just hanging around, hoping for a safety car or something, because when he pits, he's going to be near enough dead last. I think he's going to get overtaken again by Frosty Calvin. Going to be the 3rd driver to overtake him this lap, and he can't do anything. His tires are just dead. They have no more grip to give. But Jordan has fallen off the top, or fallen away from the top 2 to get with DRS, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get back into DRS, given that Major Falcon's got DRS off Storm and more ERS. So he's put himself in a bit of a difficult place at the moment. He's going to hope for the Brendan and XL Cali start battling, which I think they will, because XL Cali's got a lot of ERS and he's going to have DRS, so he might go for a move here into turn 2 as he gets a little bit out of shape at turn or the last corner, turn 18, so that's going to hamper his chances into turn 2. So I think he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get past the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, right now Ramp and Ghost Recon are switching positions. I think Ramp is just going to be up into P11. He had a little bit of a spin, I think, through that final sector, but he's going to be up one more position past the Haas of Ghost Recon, who will be dropping that position, almost getting pressured by Ryan B. into turn 2 there. Harry Noir not going to be close enough to the back of the Racing Point, just in front of him. That's actually pretty interesting considering the age of Backbone's tires, but you also have to look at Harry Noir's tires. He's been on those tires since lap 70, one of the earliest soft runners to pit onto the medium, so he's going to be really struggling here as well. As Frosty Calvin has actually gone off the track, I think he would have picked up a warning there. On the exit of turn 7 going down towards turn 8, it's very easy to pick up a warning through the middle sector. There's a lot of curbs that can absolutely kill you if you hit them wrong. Once again, I have seen people fly off of those curbs, but right now Harry Noir trying to get onto the back of Vagabonds. Vagabonds not using his ERS, but Harry Noir is using literally everything that he has. He's down to 2%, down to the inside for turn 13. He's just barely close enough to get side by side. I think that's the Haas of Marty, who's just ever so slightly getting in the way there. His ghosted car is going to be a little bit of an issue, but Harry Noir gets on that curb at turn 15, so it's not going to be the greatest run for him, but he's not able to get close enough to Vagabonds, who's actually showing pretty decent paces. Actually, Marty's out. He's spun.
Is that going to be a safety car? It's a VSC. And before Bag of Bones, he's crossed the pit lane already, so he can't pit. He's just waiting. He's waiting for something to happen, and just not going his way at the moment. As Cali's right behind Forza Brendan right now. It's VSC. It's like they're almost racing under the VSC, and Cali be annoyed at the VSC timing because I think he's going to get the run on Forza Brendan, overtaking possibly. As United Bosnia gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Not been the greatest race for him. It's been quite unfortunate for him. It all went downhill when he got that drive-through. But yeah, a bit of a lull at the moment as Forza Brendan's been disconnected once again as Harry gets a drive-through. The 3rd drive-through today. This race, no one wants a good result, it seems. No one wants a good result. And poor Forza Brendan, he's been disconnected for the 2nd week in a row. Hopefully he can get back in, and hopefully he can get back, take control of his car ASAP, because that's such a shame for him.
Yeah, I think Excel Cali was just ever so slightly in front of Forza Brendan there. So I don't think he's going to get DRS. No, he's not going to get DRS to try and help him defend from Frosty Calvin, but now Cali will have to try and get onto the back of Jordan. He has a really strong possibility for a good result. He's only on 8 points right now in the championship, so he could be picking up 12 points here tonight if he stays in 4th place where he is for the time being. He and Harry Noir going side by side through turn 14. The Williams on the outside, the McLaren on the inside, and Heated will get that move done. Forza Brendan dropping down the order because he has disconnected from the session, but Heated in P8 right now. He's just moved up into there as Harry Noir will be coming into the pit lane to serve that drive-through. Alt Maverick, who's actually been having a pretty decent race right now as well. He's up into P9 after having that podium last week. I'm not exactly sure if he'd like to be there, but he's definitely going to be scoring some pretty decent points. He does have a penalty right now, but going out of the battle for P4, Frosty Calvin is going to be going to the inside of the Racing Point of Cali into turn 2. He's going to be squeezing him out as Calvin picks up a time penalty on the inside, trying to make that move. So Cali forced him into a mistake while going for the overtake, so he's going to be up in position, but not really after the with that penalty ramp up into P9, passing Forza Brendan. But yeah, a lot of penalties throughout the field. Storm, Calvin, Bag of Bones, Alt Maverick, Ramp, Forza Brendan, Ryan B, Ghost Recon, and United Bosnia, who has a 5-second penalty. I think he might have 2 5-second penalties now.
Yeah, penalties have been the talking point in D4 all season, and once again they're going to be the talking point, as only a handful of drivers don't have pens. But yeah, that was a good move by Frosty Calvin. Just a shame that cost him a penalty, and basically he lost that position now to Cali, because Cali can just zip slide behind him and gain it, as he does not have a pen at the moment. But yeah, the top 2 starting to get very close, Major Falcon and Storm. Major Falcon doesn't have to do anything silly here. He doesn't have a pen. Storm does. He can just sit behind, let them move, or let the position come to him instead of trying something audacious or play the numbers game here. So he doesn't have to do anything rash. So I expect him to just sit behind for a few laps and let Storm use all the DRS and then make an easy move down the straight, because that'd be his best bet, as Bag of Balls finally pits. That safety car he's been waiting for isn't going to come, so he's going to pit and probably go to a set of softs to the end of the race.
Oh, but Major Falcon, yeah, making the move for the race lead. Major Falcon will be into P1. He could have just sat in the DRS, but he decided that he didn't want to be there anymore. Just a little bit off the pace there. In turn 2, Storm has to weave out of the way to avoid Major Falcon and picking up wing damage. But now TG Storm could do the same thing that Major Falcon was just a few laps ago, as well as that Cali's doing right now. Frosty Calvin is very low on ERS. He's on 13%. But yeah, Storm now can just sit here and get total long, because he does have the gap, even though it's very, very small, the advantage he has over Jordan in terms of penalties. Right now, he can just pull away, because Jordan is going to be in that clean air. He doesn't have the DRS to try and close up. Storm picks up a second time penalty, so that hand injury is really, really prohibiting him from staying within track limits and picking up good results right now. He almost disqualified in Canada, and now he has 2 penalties here in Russia with just around 10 laps to go once we cross the line. So yeah, Storm in P2 after picking up that pole position could be dropping down the order here possibly.
Yeah, he might not even get a podium if Cali can get a move on here. He doesn't have a pen. If he can get into that 6-second window, I think he's just about in it, but it's very close, so he's got to be careful. Yeah, that's going to promote Jordan up to second. So yes, penalties again for Storm. He had great pace in Canada. Just a shame that his penalties came back to bite him, and they're doing the same here again. So it's just a shame for him. He just needs to be a little bit more cautious in the race, and he'll be fine, because he clearly has the pace. But someone else who has the pace is Forza Calvin at the moment. He's very quick, and he's starting to slowly gain on Jordan. But Cali's got a lot of VRS. He's got 7% compared to Calvin's 6%. So if he can get a move on, get past him, he could definitely get Storm on pen. So that'd be one to watch out for at the moment.
Yeah, right now, Ramp, Alt Maverick, and Ryan B are all fighting for position here. Ryan B tried to move into turn 2. He tried it on the inside, but Alt Maverick was able to keep the position, and through turn 3 as well, down into turn 4. Ryan B not going to be close enough to make that move. He didn't want to send it up the inside and lay on the brakes there into turn 4. That does close, as we saw in 2015 between Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen. It's very easy to make contact there down to turn 4. We also saw it in 2020 between Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll. So a bad history there for that corner after that very, very long, very fast left-hander of turn 3. Yellow flag. Oh, it's Cali. Oh, he's round, and he has wing damage. So the Racing Point driver, after being in an excellent position so far in this race, spins off after turn number 9. I'm sure that's not what you wanted to be seeing on this Saturday evening for Division 4. So he's going to be dropping down the order. So there's even greater positions for the drivers who are fighting in behind. All Mavericks dropped out of DRS and fighting of Ramp, fighting for position with Ryan B. Ryan B is really, really fast here, but All Maverick just doesn't seem to have the pace, and he's really low on ERS as well.
Yeah, Ryan B's done a very good recovery job since having the pit. Has Maverick got damage? Or
it doesn't look like it.
He's pitted. I'm not sure why he's pitted. But he's pitted. That's a strange one. I don't know if he has a drive-through. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
So that's a strange decision, deciding to pit now, and he was in a point-paying position, and he's decided to throw that away.
It's just for soft tires.
That's a very interesting call. I'm not sure why he's done that.
Oh, he pitted on the mediums under the safety car, and he started on mediums.
Oh, okay, then that makes sense. That makes sense. That's that's unlucky. That's unlucky for him. Like I was saying, the safety car sort of screwed over the medium runners, and we're starting to see that now as he's come out in P11. He's still in a he's still in a points paying position, so it's not the end of the world for him, but he could have got a bit more if that safety car hadn't have cost him basically his strategy. But yeah, Ryan B, like you were saying, he's got really good pace. He obviously pitted for hards, and then the safety car came out and he decided to pit for mediums. So he was right at the back of the field. He managed to get himself up to P7. And I say that he gets another pen commentary curve. That puts him up to 6 seconds at the moment, but nonetheless, he's still in a decent result, and he should get some decent points for him. As none of the top three championship leaders are going to get points this race, it seems. So that's going to give people a big opportunity. I think Goldie has 1 point at the moment. Sorry, that's going to give people a big opportunity to gain some big points on those three guys. So people like Major Falcon and Storm and Frosty Calvin, those guys who are sort of in title contention, those guys are, as Forza Brendan finally gets back in, and his race is sort of ruined already. But yeah, this is a chance for those guys to gain big points on the championship leaders, so they got to be careful and not do anything stupid.
Yeah, right now, TJ Storm retaking the lead from Major Falcon on to lap 20 into turn 2. The Haas driver tried to fight it, but he didn't have the pace to keep him behind. Storm, just a little bit of an advantage on ERS. He's on 14%. Major Falcon's on 11%, but the two race leaders are running away. It's 5.5 seconds, 5.6 seconds now to ISRL. Jordan in behind there, really DRS training away from the Alfa Romeo driver, but Jordan in a strong position for the time being. He has no penalty, so if Storm picked up another one, with that hand injury, he could be dropping down to third place and the final step on the podium. But Frosty Calvin has finally gotten within DRS. And Heated is starting to come along for the party as well, as I think it's 1.3 seconds as the intervals have just disappeared. That might have been because of Forza Brennan getting into his car. So just trying to find some battles that are close out on track. I think Alt Maverick, I think some of the medium runners should have stayed out, because look where Vagabonds is compared to Alt Maverick. When he came out of the pit lane, I think it was just around 4 seconds the gap. That was 2 laps, 1 lap ago, or maybe 2 laps ago when he came into the pit lane. But yeah, Alt Maverick could have stayed out, gained that extra few seconds, and could have possibly passed Vagabonds on track for that position. But now Ghost Recon and Mech Kieran are getting close on track as well. But now the battle, we can just go on board with the battle for the lead once we try and get those interval timings back, as Goldie picks up a penalty down in P12.
Yeah, that shouldn't matter too much to him. I think he's got the gap to the cars behind. But yeah, Major Falcon playing is smart. He is overtaking the odd time, but he's playing the percentage game, not doing anything stupid, not a late lunge or anything like that. He just, if he gets a pen, that becomes another issue. But he doesn't have a pen at the moment, so he's doing okay. As Frosty Calvin, and
he does it again. Frosty Calvin picks up another time penalty on the inside of turn 2. That's not going to be the greatest for him. He is up to 6 seconds now, as Kieran and Ghost Recon are switching positions as well. The Haas is on the inside. They're both on the hard tires. They were caught out under the safety car. They both pit for hards and decided to go for the hardest compound and just to go to the end of the race and make sure not to get disqualified to switch tire compounds. But Ghost Recon is going to be up into P8 right now. I think he does have, if I'm not mistaken, he has 12 seconds of penalties. Yes, he does. So he's going to be dropping down the order. That move was just for the position on track. But right now, Frosty Calvin, after picking up that time penalty, he wasn't able to get the move done, but he also picked up a time penalty, so almost reminiscent of his move a few laps ago.
Yeah, I think he's going to try again into turn 13. He's going to use all the ERS he has and DRS, and he's going to... Jordan's defending is quite hard. He doesn't really need to, because Frosty Calvin's got 6 seconds. He's going to have the inside line, and he's going to finally get the move done. Now, if he wants this podium, he's got to pull 6 seconds in 6 laps on Jordan and Heated. I don't think that's going to happen. So the battle now between Heated and Jordan is the battle for third. This is the battle now for net P3 as when pens come into effect. So that's definitely the battle to watch for to the end of the race now.
Yeah, most definitely something to note. Out in the front of the race, TJ Storm starting to pull away from Major Falcon. Maybe the Haas driver starting to struggle on his tires. Maybe he made a mistake, but right now Jordan, Heated, and Frosty Calvin all getting super close on track. Heated trying to make the move for net P3, that last step on the podium. He's trying to make that one. He's going to the inside for turn number 2. What can the Williams driver do? The Alfa Romeo gives him space, but he hits the curb on the inside. Heated also had a lockup, so he's going to be going into the side pod of Jordan and not going to be able to make that move. He's going to be losing a little bit of time as Ghost Recon comes into the pit lane for soft tires. I think that's a little bit late to make that pit stop. because those soft tires can't go to the end of the race from around lap 20 or 19, I think so. But yeah, Frosty Calvin right now in P3 has a lot of time to pull if he wants to get the podium, but I think he could do it as Excel Cali sets fastest lap of the race down in P13. I think he's gonna be really close to the back of Ghost Recon, so he should be scoring points here and be picking up that fastest lap point. But right now, battle for the lead, Storm and Major Falcon 5/10, and then 6 seconds back to Frosty Calvin, and then Jordan and Heated, as well as Ramp, who's now gotten within DRS range. And you also have to look out for Ryan B, who's been on a charge recently.
Yeah, just the problem for these guys is they both have, well, Ramp has 3 seconds and Ryan B has 6 seconds, so that's going to hamper them a little bit. And but yeah, they're going to be in the battle, and they're going to create a nuisance. They're going to hamper the likes of Jordan and Heated. They're going to try and get involved in this party that's going on at the moment. But it's very important that Jordan stays in DRS of Calvin. I think he knows that himself, because he doesn't want to let he get a free go at him, free shot at him with no DRS to defend for himself. So that's his priority right now. Don't pick up pens and make sure you stay in DRS of Frosty Calvin. That's what he's got to do now to hold on to this podium.
Yeah, right now the race leader switching positions for what this seems either the third or fourth time. This could be a great race if Storm didn't have those 6 seconds of time penalties. Major Falcon is going to be up into P1 once again. It seemed he was struggling, but now he's made the move done on lap number 23 going into turn 4. Just there on the screen, Frosty Calvin is not closing in that much, but he's also keeping Jordan behind, and DRS trending Jordan away from Heated, away from Ramp, away from Ryan B as well. As actually Ryan B is starting to close in. That gap was 1.7 for a while, but now he's going to be on a charge once again. It's down to 1.2 seconds, so he's going to be closing in just around 5/10 just on this lap alone as he goes wide up the track. That could be a warning for the Alfa Romeo. So yeah, a few drivers are struggling, but it seems, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on, it seems to be a little bit of an accordion effect throughout the field.
Yeah, it's very spread out at the moment. Not a lot of DRS trains. I think the chaotic starts, or the chaotic restart we had a few laps ago was quite spread out the field quite a lot. I think the only people in DRS is actually first and second and third and fourth. Everyone else does not have DRS off each other, or Ryan B has DRS off Ramp. That's it. They're all very spread out at the moment, which is a shame to see, really. But I guess it's just the nature of this track. It's quite hard to follow through sector 2 and 3, so it's sort of expected, really. But Jordan just about hanging on to DRS. That's vital. He needs that so badly. But saying that, it doesn't have DRS on him, so he's doing a great job at the moment to get this podium after penalties.
Yeah, Ramp was just out of DRS ranges as well, but Ryan B was able to nab it. One of the only drivers out of the top 7 to get that DRS advantage. They do have a 9-second gap to back to Kieran, who doesn't have any penalties, but he's going to be on the hard tires, the only one on the hard tires throughout the field, so he's not going to have the greatest pace advantage. And he is dropping time to Ryan B out on track there. But yeah, the top 7 are seemingly close, but not. The gaps are close enough. There's just about 1 second throughout between most of the drivers. The Storm, as we mentioned with Major Falcon just a few laps ago, is starting to fall off the back of the Haas driver, but he's going to have the DRS to help him tow along from Calvin, who's actually closing in clean air, which is a really, really good pace for the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Calvin's had great pace all race. It's just a shame that his penalties are going to cost him in the end. Yeah, after a disappointing qualifying, he's really done well to get up there and in the fight for a podium. And look, unfortunately for him, it looks like he won't get that podium, as Ryan B finally going to go around the outside of turn 14. That's an interesting place to overtake, and you've guessed it, good. That's a great move by Ryan B, and he moves up into P6. But of course, he's got 6 seconds compared to Ram's 3, so he might lose out on that position unless he can really get the foot down and start to gain some serious time on the Ferrari driver behind him, which doesn't seem very likely given how few laps we have left. But now this gets going to get interesting. He now has DRS on Jordan. Jordan has no DRS to defend. I don't think he will get him on this lap, but come lap 26 and 27, he's going to be right up his gearbox. So that's going to make it very interesting. That's going to give us great excitement for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have this race and on a high note for these drivers. They've been super, super close throughout the field right now. Let's take a quick look at the standings once again. So Major Falcon, if he wins this race, doesn't pick up another time penalty, will be picking up 25 points. That will be boosting his total to 34. Without other drivers improving, that would put him into third in the standings for the time being. Storm is currently on 18 points. Will be picking up another 18 to 36. Just trying to go on board with the battle. Frosty Calvin in P3 on track right now to be picking up. Or on track once again. This is all on track without penalties included. He'd be picking up, I think he'd be up to 39 points as well. So yeah, a lot of drivers actually picking up quite a lot of points in this race right now. He's getting close to the back of Jordan, as you mentioned. As Ghost Recon picks up his 15 seconds of time penalties. He did not close enough on this lap, but he's going to be really, really close going on to the penultimate lap and onto the final lap as Major Falcon leads us through the penultimate corner right now.
Yeah, Major Falcon's drove a fantastic race here today as he's got one more lap, or two more laps to do, sorry. He's got no pens, he's controlled the race beautifully, so he just got to bring it home now, and this race is definitely his to lose. If he somehow throws this race, it'd be a complete and utter bottle. But he is getting closer and closer to Jordan now, gap down to 5 tenths, nearly 4 tenths now. He's got more ERS, he's got DRS, Jordan's going to be a sitting duck, so it's going to make the last 2 laps very interesting. He's going to not get him this lap. He might get him into turn 14 or turn 13 if he wants to risk it. So, or he's going to wait till the last lap. But Jordan got to pull out all the stops here to stay in a net P3 at the moment.
You say pull out all the stops, and he really has, especially on that ERS button, on that overtake button. He's down to 13%. Heated has almost 10% more. It's not very much, but he could use it and lose it all in one straight. He could even lose it on this lap, or use all that ERS on this lap and diminish his advantage that he currently has on tires. Jordan has the advantage 1 lap fresher than the Williams in behind, but it's not going to mean quite much as they've both done 16 and 17 laps respectively, but Ryan B also showed great pace throughout, is within DRS range, but Heated is already going for it into turn 13. The Red Bull off in the first sector. Jordan is going to be dropping down that 1 position, so he's now going to be into net P4. He is going to be up onto the podium. I do believe that would be his first
DRS though.
Yeah, he's going to have that DRS as well as Ryan B just in behind. This will be Heated's first podium of the season. It'll be the Williams' 3rd podium of the season if he can maintain it for the time being. But Jordan making a mistake in that final sector, losing a little bit of time. He might be close enough for DRS. Heated using all of its ERS reserves, trying to pull out as far as possible on this straight. There's a runoff in the middle sector, but now you have to look at Ryan B as well. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Jordan's not going to be close enough to the back of the Williams, so I think Heated might have gotten this done on the final lap.
Jordan is in his second sector to get close enough to have a look into turn 13. That's his only hope now. But he seems to pull a very healthy gap at the moment, so Jordan's got all to do here through this second sector, and I don't think he has enough in it at the moment to claw that time back. Unfortunately for him, he's played this to perfection. He's bided his time and he's done it at the right moment, and he's managed to, he's pulling away. Jordan, if the race had been 1 lap less, he would have been fine, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that podium today.
Ooh, Ryan picks up a 3rd penalty.
That's going to hamper him. He might get jumped by Kieran now due to that penalty. We'll have to wait and see when we cross the line, but yeah, I think he's safe now for this podium.
Yeah, right now I think we are going to go on board with the leaders because none of the guests are close enough to be mentioned. Major Falcon has finally broken DRS on the final lap. 1.3 seconds is the gap between the 2 race leaders. Storm has driven an amazing race, but he did have those 2 time penalties, and he wasn't in the lead anyways. Going through the penultimate corner, through 17, through 18, it's going to be Major Falcon to win in Russia. Storm will cross the line. He will finish in 2nd, but Major Falcon wins by 7.5 seconds. After penalties have been applied. Frosty Calvin finishes 3rd on track, but he's going to be dropping position, so Heated will take the final position on the podium, followed by Jordan after an amazing drive, but unlucky to drop that net podium position on the penultimate lap. Frosty Calvin will inevitably finish in 5th. Ramful jump Ryan B after that late penalty for the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be finishing in 7th. Kieran Vagabonds Alt Maverick for the time being will round out the top 10. We have to wait for a few drivers to cross the line, but Harry Noir did take fastest lap on a 32.4. He's not going to be getting the point because he ended up in 17th. But yeah, Excel Cali will be up into 11th, and Goldie will finish with 1 point in P12. Ghost Recon taking 13th. You have to wait for the rest of the drivers to finish the race. But yeah, a great race, and Major Falcon takes his, I think that's his first podium.
I think that's his first win of the season. that might even be his first win in Division 4. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but definitely his first win and podium up the season, like you said. But yeah, great result for him. Unfortunate day for a few drivers like Goldie and Brendan. They haven't done the championship hopes any good, but Goldie has managed to get a point, and that point could come. That point could be very important later on in the season. You just don't know. So he's done well to recover to get P12 and to nick a point. Every point matters in a championship, so you can't be too. You can be unhappy they got taken out or collision. You can't be unhappy with his drive after that as he managed to nick a point. But yeah, great drive by everyone in the top three. They drove effortlessly, and same for Jordan as well. Just unlucky not to get that podium, but it was a great race all around from everyone. And like I said, D4 doesn't disappoint, and it gave us great excitement even around Russia.
Yeah, most definitely. Just taking a look at the rest of the divisions. Division 1 is still going on. I think M Short is leading the race so far in the intermediate conditions, but it's RJDW taking the win in Division 3, followed by Rudy and Vapor Trench, and then Old School Luke, Eduk, Rally JT, Sofan, Excel Miami, Caesar from pole position dropping down to 10th. Tin Can and Carmentalist will finish out the points positions. Looking towards Division 1, they are on the final lap right now. It's M Short, Bolin, Connor, Campbell, Montana, the top 5. Cookie Games currently in P6, but he does have a time penalty. Lando, Jiao, Cohen, Neo, Verstappen, and Toxic are the rest of the points positions. But yeah, let's get back to Division 4. We can't update you guys on Division 1 once we go through the Division 4 results. But you're at right now. Major Falcon with a final time of 45:18.830 led most of the way out in the Haas, and he didn't look back once he made that final move on TTD Storm. But it's going to be Storm in P2 though, followed by Heated Jordan, Frosty, Calvin, Ramp, Ryan B, Mac, Kieran, Vagabonds, Alt Maverick, Callie, and Goldie will be their top 12. All the point scoring positions. Ghost Recon will finish 1 point out of the. One place out of the points positions fall, and then it's going to be Brandon, Forza Brendan, United Bosnia, Harry Noirg, Marty, and Camel. Spectron Don, Harry Noirg taking fastest lap on a 32.4. So yeah, that's the Division 4 race. A lot of penalties and a lot of great drives from some drivers who are further down the championship.
Yeah, this has got the championship wide open once again as top 3 between them all only managed to get a point. So that's going to let a few other contenders come in to the fray, and it's going to spice up the championship for the rest of the season, 100%.
Yeah, most definitely. Division 1 has just finished their race. It's going to be M Short taking the race to win. I think is that his third race win in 3 races?
That's his third. Yeah,
third in a row for the McLaren driver. Your Excel protege, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I taught him everything he knows.
Exactly. Yeah, he knows how to win a championship now because of years in season 3. Season 3. Yeah. 2 seasons ago. Once James can skip the podium celebrations, we can look at those final results. But yeah, great race from Division 4. A few incidents that will be investigated by the steward's office.
Yeah, the stewards might be a bit busy.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah, but it's going to be M Short, Bolin, Connor, Campbell, Montana, last season's 2-time champion, only P5. Lando P6 for Excel, decent drive for him from 16th as well. So great drive from the Mercedes man. Cohen, Neo, Verstappen, Dida Daniel, Justice Ass, and Jiao are the rest of the top 12 and will all be scoring points. But yeah, that's been it for Division 4. Great race. Can't wait for next week. It's going to be Monaco, so maybe even more chaotic, but definitely less time penalties. And that's been all, folks.